Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm myfriendebin.
And we're here to show you a town that we've been working on for quite some time with some other friends of ours. We wanted to build a server that had a strong community aspect to it. And so we asked people to, instead of building these elaborate private bases, to instead help build a town that would have everything that every player could need in their own base. That's not to say that we don't have player housing, but we will show you that in a later video.
Yes, we will.
Cool. So there's a few basic rules to the server. In general, it's just to get along nicely with everyone else. We also don't want people building large structures too close to the town, although over time we've become a little more lax with that rule.
As you can see over in the distance there.
Yes, there's a sort of cathedral arch going on in progress. Cool. Well, Evan, why don't you show us to the first building?
So there's a lot going on in the spawn village. I guess the first sight to see is Lloyd the zombie, which is a zombie we caught and called Lloyd because he's a zombie.
Yep, and why not?
And why not? The first building we built on the server is the historical mud hut, and you can't actually see it, but it's through it's through the trees there. Oh, we'll go down and take a look actually.
Yeah. The mud hut is actually protected by the Historical Society.
Indeed.
And
yeah, so this is the first hut we built when we started the server, and we just kind of kept it around for nostalgic purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sheltered the initial settlers from any sort of zombie massacre.
Exactly. And so yeah, you can see in the distance there's a few farms, but we'll show them kind of later. But the first thing we built on the server was a chicken farm, a barbecue chicken place, and gives the people playing on the server lots of food, so we don't starve. And,
in fact, I think that the big issue with this was that it was too productive for a long time and kept filling with chicken and feathers and overloading.
yeah, that's exactly right. It was pretty out of control. And this noisy building right to our behind us here is the blacksmith and foundry. If you can manage the door there. So this building was built by one of the members on our server, Klutz. And he's actually the person who's also building that giant cathedral over there. And yeah, so this serves as our blacksmith, so someone can come in and use the furnace and smelt things. And it also employs a auto smelting system where you can input different smeltables and fuels and stuff in there, and it sorts them out into coal and blaze rods, and then fills up the furnaces with coal and blaze rods, and then after the items are smelted, they show up here in this chest of smelted items.
We also have some farms that are feeding into this chest as well, which is why, for example, there's iron. We have an iron farm nearby, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, and we end up storing a lot of iron and other things in here that are useful, and maybe some tools for when someone comes on and doesn't have some diamond tools. Oh, did you put something in there?
Yeah, I put a piece of cobblestone in there to illustrate it.
It's a good demo. And so I believe you built the gun store here.
Yes, this fine construction is the gun store, which actually has fewer weapons than you might think it does. Oh, never mind, there are a couple of those things in here. This is really just kind of a place to store most of the materials that you need for guns. I think our intent was also to have a lot of the armor and stuff like that, but we tend to go through it a lot. Many of us burn to death pretty frequently.
Yeah, I think there used to be a lot more like zombie drops here too. You can see there's a few there in that chest, but yeah, over time they get used or destroyed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, or over here you can see, it's sort of a fletchery in the corner, and there's the feathers are dropped off automatically that are picked up from the chicken farm, and over here in the arrow chest there's lots of flint, and that comes actually from our mine where the flint is sorted out. You can see down here there's a little dropper. And the flint is sorted out and deposited automatically into this chest. So when a player needs to go and make some arrows, it's got everything they need.
One of the things that we haven't really mentioned is beneath the town there's actually a giant sorting machine that we've used to connect up various parts of the town. So the mine, for example, has an input box and carries everything to the town, where it then gets sorted and largely put in the correct building. It's not perfect, and there's sometimes a little bit of sorting to be done afterwards, but it at least gets it all here, and some of it gets smelted automatically, I believe, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And the mentality of the town is that for each particular job or sort of style of task you might have when you're playing, there's a different building for that. So, for example, there's the blacksmith, where all the blacksmithing things will happen. But you'll see down as we go, there's a store dedicated to building items, there's a store dedicated to redstone, etc. And so, in that way, all of our different items get sorted out to the appropriate buildings.
This building here used to be the building supply store when we were just starting out, but we quickly outgrew it in favor of this much larger building supply store, and as a result, this would be our only abandoned building. But nobody really has stepped foot in there since it was closed.
That's true. It remains abandoned. Maybe it's haunted.
It probably is. In fact, we should put some cobwebs in there.
That's true. That's a good idea. So here we've got the building supply store. I think you built this, didn't you?
I built it, but you managed to get all the chests and things in here.
Yeah, that's right. I actually think I placed the interior stuff, but your design, yours was the original design, and I just kind of modified it a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, I think that the building next to it used to be the gun store, and you had to sort of knock down the wall and amalgamate the two to make the machinery work properly.
Yeah, exactly. So on this wall here, you can see this is the only sort of, this is the most advanced auto sorting we have. And it's just a sort of basic materials that you might pick up while you're mining, in particular mining, in the ground. So you have, your cobblestone, smooth stone, sand, gravel. And then if you've been mining in the nether, then you'll come back with a bunch of netherrack. You can dump that into the sorting system. And then sand and sandstone. And these, when this was built, were the most sort of prevalent materials that you would need.
These are the things that would always fill up our inventory unwanted.
Yeah, and also fill up lots of chests. And so in the back there we have the an infinite storage system that doesn't actually work anymore. Well, it works, but we can't recreate it. I don't think that you can stack minecarts in the same way. But in any case, so we've got quite a bit of storage back there. And but since we are using the patch or the newest snapshot, there are new mineable stones which we don't currently have in the sorter. I think they're up here,
and not every one of these has only the item on the item frame. For example, we just are trying to group similar items.
Yeah, exactly. So these are decorative things made from wood. So ladders and fences and chests and such.
Is this? Oh, you had it open. That's fine. Never mind. I thought it got stuck in the item frame there. For a second.
No. And there's logs or all the different types of raw wood, and then planks, and then things made from wood, cobble, etc.
Cool. Across the street here, someone on the server named Rilo built the Organics Hut, where most of the flowers and other sort of once-were living things, or I guess some of them are still living, are stored. There's a little bit of food, seeds and bone meal and things like that. But the idea was that it was supposed to look like part of the root system of the great tree, which has actually served as a pretty good landmark for a long time.
Yeah, when you're lost, it's pretty easy to get, to see the tree and walk towards it. And actually, I don't know if you knew this, Jay, but in this big chest at the bottom, you can see there's a dropper there. And there's actually a squid farm in the river that's attached to this.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So,
what does it put in here?
Squid ink.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, 54. And usually I take them and put them in the dye one.
Oh, cool.
But yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
All right. We've got the Magic Hut, which actually was created by Rilo as well.
I believe that was created by Foon.
Oh, yeah, I know, you might be right. In any event, it's supposed to look like a witch's hat.
I think you did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think you did too. You go in, nice lava ceiling, enchanting table, and these are just where we store ender pearls. We have an ender farm, which I think we haven't really been making very much use of lately. So normally this is filled. We can fill a chest like that very quickly using the farm that we have. And just some miscellaneous enchanting books and things like that.
And lapis for the new enchanting things.
Right, yeah.
Oops. And across the street here we've got the electronics shop, and so it's sort of designed to look sort of like an electronics shop should, with, you know, a little like electronics bench with some redstone all around and stuff. But the bottom chest here is holds all of the redstone and, well, redstone blocks eventually. But this is actually directly fed from the mine shaft. So when you're mining and you dump all your stuff into the receiving chest down there, it sorts out the redstone and dumps it in here to make it easier. And then the top chest we just have all the different stuff that all the stuff you need while you're redstoning, and usually, you know,
to make comparators and
yeah, exactly,
lamps and stuff like that.
And a player should just come in here and take what he needs, and, you know, build enough so that he leaves some behind if he uses it all, or whatever the case. And so he should have pretty much everything he needs to start a new project without having to build too much stuff.
The last is the beer shop, which I believe you made, didn't you, John?
Yeah, I made this one. I made this. So yeah, it's pretty simple. There's a few brewing stands on the side. It's mostly decorative. The fire's really intense now. I haven't been in here in a while. I think maybe my brewing stands are a little high. But so in this small chest here, it's a bit ugly actually. Yeah, I think I need to do some more work in here. But in the top chest is just a variety of brewing ingredients, and the bottom chest are just whichever potions have been brewed. We don't really have an industrial brewing setup yet, but I know you were working on one, but that might have been on the creative server. I'm not sure.
No, I actually have a prototype in my home. Although I never was able to figure out or find a design that I really liked, and yeah, I think you and I were both kind of toying with it, but never settled on anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have too big of one here, because then it's a nice shop to have small. So if you made it huge, I think it would be. But maybe like to have it underground or something would be nice, and then just pump the potions up. I don't know.
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
like that.
All right, down the road, there's Foon Manor, which is this very nether-looking building. Behind it is what do you call that tower, actually?
That is an abandoned tower. I don't know what goes on in there, but I heard it's pretty creepy.
It is very abandoned.
It looks ominous, that's for sure.
Oh, we forgot that we have the stables, actually. Let's go take a look at that.
There's the stables over here. I took one of the horses out, actually, recently.
Oh, really?
I'll have you know.
This land was actually in use for a long time by a player who got halfway through a building and stopped, and after a lengthy court process, the town decided to reclaim the land and use it for the much-needed stables when horses were brought into the game.
It was a long legal battle, but I think
justice prevailed.
Justice prevailed, exactly.
Despite the defendant not being part of the process.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's this nice upper loft. We actually had a lightning strike, I think, a while ago, or something like that.
I was going to ask you what happened here, actually, when I was in here and wondering why the roof was missing.
Yeah, I forget. I remember I was on when this happened. Maybe it was a creeper, but I really feel like it was lightning. But I think lightning is a pretty big bang, and it's not a very big hole.
No, but it can light fire. So it probably
maybe
burned
just
a little bit, and it was raining, and it turned out. But...
Oh, that could have been exactly what it was. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the barn. We've got some nice, some strong cross beams. We're centrally located next to several good forests, which has made our architecture quite easy. All right, now we're entering the government district.
And you are being watched. Who put that there?
I can't talk about it.
I've never seen that before.
You've never seen that before? It's been here since, I made that sign the day we planted this floor.
Really? I don't think I ever noticed that.
It's probably one of the oldest signs on the entire server.
That's really funny. I've never noticed it.
Right.
Anyway,
So
so yeah,
here,
here we have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
this was the first national bank. However, due to a very poor economy, it went bankrupt. Irony was not lost, and eventually it was repurposed into what do you call this? Like a villager market or
It's supposed to be a
villager?
villager trading center, but in the new snapshot, the villagers don't really work the same way. So it's kind of broken at the moment, but you can still trade with them. But I was working on getting the perfect villager and trying to make a lot of emeralds and stuff. But it's still the bank. They're the tellers.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah, and then
See,
we just need to have some chests back here, I guess, to store our nicer items.
we also built Golly the Golem to provide protection from any sort of invading marauders, which we actually get quite a few of. There's usually some zombies poking at the walls in the area.
Oh, they're around back.
You can see it's a fairly ominous-looking building, really.
Hmm.
We also have our beacon, which provides us with a nice boost of speed when we're walking around the area. Also, obviously, a very good landmark when we're coming from afar.
Mm-hmm. And it was built with, as you can see from the top, it's built to support 4 beacons, but we only have 1 because we haven't killed another wither yet. But I have 3 skulls, and I think Rilo or Foon has another 3 skulls, or both of them. And I think Rilo's working on a wither farm anyway, so we should be able to finally fill those up after a year.
Yeah. So, would you like to show us the... Well, this is also an arch that I believe you built.
Oh yeah, this is well, it's modeled after the Triumphal Arch in France, I think. I don't remember where it is, but anyway, it's sort of the archway to the estates in the back. You can see there's a few houses. There's my house over to the left, and then Jay's is in front of me, and Parasites.
Parasite.
I couldn't remember his name. Parasites is over there. And and then in the other, sort of on the side hallways, is access to the Nether. And in the Nether hub, there's a corresponding dark archway. It's sort of it's supposed to be a light-dark dichotomy, like similar to Zelda, I think it was. The Dark
It's
World?
quite evil.
Yeah. The
And
Dark
we'll
World
be
was
showing
Zelda,
it later,
right?
yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so this is the subway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fully functional subway system. In fact, it's better. It's better than any subway system that I've used in real life because in this, the cart waits and leaves only when you're ready.
Indeed. So yeah, you just select where you want to go. Iron Golem Farm or the mine or one of the different castles, and you select it like this. I'll select a dead channel, and if you jump into the minecart, it sends you on your way. And there's just some minecart logic there, which will, in this case, send me right back to where I started. And the way it works is if it sends you down the pathway to one of the houses or the castles or the mine or whatever, then on your way back you use the same minecart channel, and so there only ever has to be one railway going to a house, and it makes it easy for players to hook up to the system. They don't have to deal with the logic in there. They just take the end and kind of go out with it like that.
There's not a high risk of collision either, actually.
Well, yeah, as long as there is a high risk of collision, but as long as we, it's, I don't know. I guess we're low population enough that that's not a problem.
Yeah, and luckily you've built in more than enough channels so that it can support a pretty significant amount of growth.
This is the maximum channels it can have based on the limitations of redstone. So 15, I'm guessing.
Right, because the redstone length is 16, isn't it? So you can't go longer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think
Cool.
that's pretty much it for this tour. We have a lot more to show, but I think we're going to do that in subsequent videos.
Yeah, just as a preview, I guess, we've got Gold Farm to show off, Iron Farm, Spider, Enderman, Witch Farm.
We were pretty nice. I've been spending a lot of time recently on the Blaze Farm, sort of getting it ready for the new... why was I doing that? I don't know. Just making it a nicer place to get XP.
Mm-hmm.
And
Am I missing anything? I feel like I said spider farm, right?
which
Oh,
farm?
there's also
Slime
an
farm?
XP farm in progress, but it's not completed yet.
An XP farm?
I'm sorry, mob farm.
Oh yeah, yeah. A few people are working on a mob farm, I think.
Hmm.
Because Rilo is, and you said you were going to start one.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so that's it for now.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye.